Hello, Patricia O'Connor and Frida Darcy here. It's a beautiful Sunday in Alameda, California, and we're going to talk about what we've been up to the last couple of days and how everybody's faring. As I said I would do, I believe, yep, it was this. I did a rewrap on this and put a bend in it that I'm pretty happy with. And I still have room to grow. And this is coming out nicely. And that's coming out nicely. And that will probably go, but I cleaned up all the other stuff that I said. Get these cobwebs out of here too. Yeah, I've got a branch here. I don't think I'm gonna need this guy. So that was how that turned out, and that's about all the wiring I have for a little while for this. And this is also, since it's the Cork Bark Oak, it is also an evergreen. So in the winter, it will slow down, but it will do about the same. That it'll look much like this all through the winter. It'll be our one nice green spot. And this is a quick look at our show hen, Ponderosa. A day ago, I ordered a table. I'm not real excited about the table. I need the table, and I had a small list of requirements that it had to fill. I wanted it to be fairly high so that if I had plants, so that when it had trees on it, they could make use of our light and not be too far away. It needed to be durable. I didn't want to copy this idea, but I didn't want it, by this idea I mean the copper full with the bamboo trim. I didn't want to be a copy of that. I wanted to, do something else, but then kind of have it not stand out. And I don't know if I was successful in that or not. What I ended up doing was looking for 3 days and not really seeing anything I liked, and then making a big old huge compromise to something that is just absolutely practical, which is kind of not like me at all. I tend to put a little bit more emphasis on aesthetics than what, but let me just explain. What we have coming is a table like what you would use for cooking or preparing food. It's going to be probably about 3 feet by 2 feet. It'll be fairly high. It'll be stainless steel. It'll have a shelf underneath it, and it'll also have rollers. It's practical on a bunch of different levels. It'll hold about 300 pounds. It wasn't expensive, and no, I don't really care for the looks of it. I haven't figured out what I will do about the looks of it, but it does check all the other boxes. Which still, it's kind of unlike me to buy something that I'm not really crazy about the looks of. But all I can say is it would be worse if I'd have overpaid for something that I wasn't crazy about the looks of. And typically, if something works for me on all those other levels, like it's the right height, it's durable, it maybe actually work for me in that it's on rollers. I can lock the rollers to be feet, or I can load heavy things on them and move them around if it would help me in that way. So in other words, it checks all the other boxes, and it's just that I don't really think stainless steel goes with what I have here. So there's ways around that. If it really bothers me when it gets into place, I can fix that during the winter when everything else starts slowing down a little and we don't have as much to do. That maybe I can come up with a way to change its appearance a little. If not, change its appearance a little. I can put a different coating on it, or I can just put some little temporary wood on top of it so we're not looking straight at stainless steel. There's ways around that. There is our dawn redwood. It's continuing to flush out. And about that table, I'm really happy with the output of these lights, and it has satisfied my curiosity as to whether or not those guys would put out enough light for us to grow the sun hungry, and for all purposes. Everything I see is that, for instance, when it comes to the pine trees, the side that faces inside with the lights tends to do better than the side that faces outside with the wind. So when this table comes in place, I may move my pines there as well. It's because I'm that confident about our light output. So yeah, I don't know why it looked like to me like the camera just went down a stop. I don't know if it'll show up on the video or not. I kind of touched it again to see if it was something that I had done, but no. Anyway, so yes, on a new table, it'll be on its way. It'll go right there in that space, and will increase our grow area. The pines, the black pines, and the show hens will go on that, and that will make us more space on our shelf for things that are not as susceptible to wind. That also means I might think about, I've had a little less problem with wind in the dawn redwood, but I have seen that burn before. I've also seen the cypress trees burn a little. I'm curious as to whether or not those same wind issues will affect the ponderosas, because they are very much used to higher elevations. But I'm going to keep an eye on them. There's no reason on earth why I can't turn that literati ponderosa around 180 from what it is now, so that it's pointed right at me and not in the wind. In other words, I think everything there on the rail does get the breeze, and everything that's back off of it, I have noticed since last year, if something looked like it was getting a little wind burn, my go-to is just to move it a couple of feet back from the face. I feel pretty confident that that if I move things to here, they would certainly be out of the wind if wind was ever an issue. My main concern was, were we going to get enough light for things that we don't want to be experimenting on when it comes to light deprivation. So I think that our lighting setup has gone well enough that, given the wind burn versus given the sureness of our f-stop up here, our foot candles, I would say, now, a lot of people will go, well, you're supposed to go by the efficiency path. They've got a new rating. Well, the day you show me where an oak leaf equates to those little grid that you see on that formula, then I'll go, yeah, I'll memorize all that stuff. But that's just memorizing a grid that tells me how this light works, but still doesn't tell me how, as far as I can see, how I still haven't seen a formula that shows what trees in what regions respond to what data numbers. So yeah, that's a little sidetrack there, but yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking we'll have plenty of light for our table. It should be here in a couple of days. It's not a big installation. It's kind of it's not an IKEA thing. It is a professional food quality table, but it'll probably take, it'll probably install, it's the kind of thing that you can put together with hand tools. So I'm not really concerned about a big switch of operation or anything. Other than that, it's been a pretty cool day today. We haven't had a lot of heat. It was actually chilly this morning. I didn't close the doors, but I did bundle up, and so it's gotten plenty warm since then. When it comes just looking at the cypresses, sometimes, a couple of times, I prune back stuff because I thought maybe it was getting too thick to be at its location, but then at the same time I missed it when it was gone. I thought that this branch, you can see its diameter, how big it was here. I thought it was too big to be hanging out at the top like that. Same with this guy. But on the other hand, I sure did miss them when they went, and I'm glad to see that the tree responded by sending out a couple of more. We'll watch them and we won't let them get as big. We'll prune them back. But the cypresses are good like that. I should probably go through here and do a little bit of clipping, maybe. Let's see, what do I have handy? Those are my stainless ones. I'd rather. Oh, there they are. Here we go. So, I just really love this tree. It is so easy. Those two guys are very close together. I think we'll go. Let's get rid of the end one because it's too fat for the end. I left the smaller of the two. I could have just as easy said I want the bigger of the two, but I don't want to make a knob on the end if I can help it. I'm not overly concerned about that, but I do think about the rules. 50-50. Sometimes I think about the rules before I break them, and sometimes I think of the rules as I'm breaking them. I go, oh yeah. A little voice says you're not supposed to do this or that. However, I'm okay with that. What are those little white specks? I think it's okay. But that's our new leader. It's looking really good. I just am really happy about how fast that guy is busting out. And this guy is just shooting out little things everywhere that we want it to shoot out little things. You can see how I was able to use this as kind of like a spring to leave tension on this. And with that one wire, I was able to do all of that motion and then hold it in place. And that's how that guy went. I don't know, I'm not too impressed by that though. I might could do that a little tighter, but also I probably shouldn't do it at all. Like it or not, that was the Blue Angels. I'm probably more in the camp that stuff drives my dog nuts. But other people like it and it doesn't. And I can tell Frida it's okay. So I don't want to go harshing anybody's good time, but damn, that's loud. Anyway, little quick look at the little guys. Just a little quick look at our bougainvillea, and a little quick look at our cypress. And that's a little check-in on our Sunday on the Bonsai Balcony. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe.